Hello everyone, and welcome to TSR Sports. Today I'll be presenting my greatest San Antonio Spurs starting lineup of all time. Just a FYI, in this series I may start players out of their normal positions, so I may include them in my starting five. Hey, it's my list! After the list, I'll go over why I selected my starting lineup. Let me know in the comments down below who your starting five would be. Hit that thumbs up to support the channel and subscribe for more NBA content. Alright, let's do this! Go Spurs, go! Starting at point guard, Tony Parker. Tony played for France and was drafted in 2001 in the first round and 28th pick overall by the San Antonio Spurs. Tony would spend 17 seasons with those Spurs, and with the Spurs he would be a 4-time NBA champion, an NBA Finals MVP, 6-time NBA All-Star, and 3-time All-NBA second team. One of the quickest players in the NBA in his time, Tony was fairly deadly in the paint despite his size, using his quickness to get around defenders left, right, forward, and back. Arguably Tony's best season was 2008 to 2009, where he averaged 22 points per game, 3.1 rebounds, 6.9 assists, 0.9 steals, and 0.1 blocks per game. Starting at shooting guard, George the Iceman Gervin. 6'7" out of Eastern Michigan, George was drafted in 1974 in round 3, the 40th pick overall by the Phoenix Suns. He ended up spending 12 seasons with the San Antonio Spurs, and in that time he would become a 9-time NBA All-Star, 5-time All-NBA First Team, 2-time All-NBA Second Team, and a 4-time NBA Scoring Champion. The Iceman was a talented scorer who could use his patented finger roll to score at will anywhere in the paint. While not his top scoring season, I do think his best overall season was 77 to 78, when he averaged 27.2 points per game, 5.1 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 1.7 steals, and 1.3 blocks per game. Starting at small forward, Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi is 6'7", played out of San Diego State, was drafted in 2011 in the first round, 15th overall pick by the Indiana Pacers. He was traded that night to the San Antonio Spurs and would spend 7 seasons with the Spurs. In that time, he would be an NBA champion, NBA Finals MVP, 2-time NBA Defensive Player of the Year, 2-time All-NBA First Team, and 3-time NBA All-Defensive First Team. Kawhi was a great perimeter defender, and on offense he could score from anywhere on the floor. A two-way player indeed. Kawhi's best season with the Spurs was 2016 and 2017, where he averaged 25.5 points per game, 5.8 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 1.8 steals, and 0.7 blocks per game. Starting at power forward, Tim Duncan. Tim was 6'11" and played college at Wake Forest and was drafted in 1997, first round, first overall pick by the San Antonio Spurs. Tim would spend his entire career at the Spurs playing 19 seasons, and in that time he would be a 5-time NBA champion, 3-time NBA Finals MVP, 2-time NBA Most Valuable Player, 10-time All-NBA First Team, and 8-time NBA All-Defensive First Team. Tim was a leader, efficient, and clutch player, and Tim was even better in the playoffs when the Spurs needed him the most. I feel his best season overall was 2001 to 2002, where he averaged 25.5 points per game, 12.7 rebounds, 3.7 assists, 0.7 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game. Starting at center, David Robinson. The Admiral was 7'1" and played for the Naval Academy and was drafted first overall by the San Antonio Spurs in 1987. David played all 14 of his NBA seasons with the Spurs, and in that time, he was a 2-time NBA champion, a Most Valuable Player, Defensive Player of the Year, 4-time All-NBA First Team, 4-time NBA All-Defensive First Team. The Admiral once scored 71 points in a game and also had a quadruple-double in another. Mr. Robinson's agility, quickness, and athleticism would be tough for most centers to handle. David's best season was 1993 to 1994 when he won his first and only scoring title, averaging 29.8 points per game, 10.7 rebounds, 4.8 assists, 1.7 steals, and 3.3 blocks per game. I'm sure some Spurs fans are saying, hey, where's Manu? Where he always is, first off the bench. Dunking and blocking shots, dunking some more, and winning. And now, why my starting five? I went with Tony Parker because while I like Avery Johnson, DeJounte Murray, and other point guards that have played for the Spurs, He is head and shoulders above the competition, and that's why you got the nod. At the number 2 spot, while I understand a lot of you want to put Manu in the starting lineup, I had to go with George the Iceman Gervin. The first real superstar the Spurs had, an incredible scorer back in his day. I just had to acknowledge how much he meant to this team and what he did for this team back in his day. At the 3 spot, this is the controversial pick, starting Kawhi Leonard. I could see some of you sliding George to the 3 spot and starting Manu at the 2 spot. But again, this is a player I could not ignore. Despite the way he left the team, he accomplished so much in such a short amount of time. It was such a phenomenal two-way player with the Spurs. That's why I have him starting at my 3. At the 4 spot and the 5 spot, these were pretty much no-brainers. Tim Duncan, arguably the greatest power forward of all time, gets the start at power forward. And David Robinson, my personal favorite player of all time, gets the start at number 5. The Twin Towers just also heads and shoulders above the competition. Don't get me wrong, I like LaMarcus Aldridge and other big men that have played for this team, but Tim and David are in a class of their own. In closing, here is the starting lineup with each of their best seasons that I picked. I think team strengths would be defense with 3 shutdown defenders, plus our size with 2 7-footers, and our ability to score. Some weaknesses, 3-point shooting, not a lot here on this roster. We do have kind of a smallish point guard by today's standards, with Tony being 6'2". I want to thank you all for watching, and as always, go Spurs go!